Hey guys, HW. It's a Friday, I'm in the city. I'm feeling pretty good today because I'm not going to be rushed by anyone or anything. So I've got time to walk around and explore the city at my own pace. I'm standing in Wynyard Park, across the road from Wynyard Station. And as is the case in any YouTube video, there's someone walking around with a leaf blower, isn't there? So it's a beautiful day in Sydney today. It's clear skies. Let me have a look at the weather for you, let you know what it is. Hope you've been having a good week yourself. It's going to be 21 degrees Celsius in Sydney today, which what's that make it, about 69 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. The wind's from the west, I think at about 21 kilometres an hour, but it doesn't seem like that. The trees aren't really moving. Maybe that's going to happen later in the day. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to secure myself a nectar over there on the corner of Margaret Street. I'm not going to go to the same place again that I did last time. I'm going to try to get a seat in the window. There's already people sitting there in that, I think it's called Cafe Portico, is it? I think that's the name of it. I'm going to try to get a nectar in there. And actually, now that I think of it, I have been in there before. But I might try to get a seat in the window anyway. So let's see how we go. As we walk towards the cafe, let me correct what I just said about the wind. It's not from the west. It's actually from the northeast at 11 kilometres an hour. Alright, here we are. Outside Cafe Portico. I have been here before. I think I had a quick takeaway out here one day in one of the films. But this is the first sit-down one anyway, with the porcelain cup. So as I chuck into this flat white here, I look across the road there. I don't know whether you can see it in the film, but directly across the road on the corner there's the Starbucks. I can't see many people in there. There's a lot more people in Portico here. So Aussies have got a discerning taste when it comes to coffee. They don't go for the coffee chains like the Americans do. So I'll just keep filming for a little while, see what the goings on are on corner of Market Street and York. See who scuttles past the camera lens as we sit here. Might have a quick sip of my coffee. It's a delicious taste, but geez, it's hot. Almost burnt my esophagus out. And here's this Scots church again. The Scots church in Sydney. Beautiful sandstone church. I think it's a Presbyterian church. Yeah, it is. It says there, Scots Presbyterian Church. And it's funny that we're standing under this sandstone building, because that's the first stop today on the tour. Is we're going to hit a historical site that's got something to do with sandstone, not far from here. So yeah, let me finish this nectar, and then we'll get walking. All right, here we are. At the first, apart from the park and the coffee shop, the first real stop of the tour today. And what you can see across the road there is some workers' cottages in High Street, Millers Point. And the reason why I'm focused on them is these cottages were built in 1911 after the city of Sydney got on top of the bubonic plague, which didn't get to Sydney until the early 1900s, even though it had already raged through Europe in the 1300s, and apparently originally came from China in the 1300s. So it didn't get to Australia until the early 1900s. I just had to stop there for a second. A few people crept up on me. So these workers' cottages. Now, how this relates to the church that we were looking at before was that church, that Presbyterian church, was made of sandstone. And if I just jump up onto these sandstone blocks here and face down this way to Barangaroo, all of Millers Point here used to be a quarry back in the day, and they were mining sandstone. And a lot of the buildings around Sydney that are constructed of sandstone came from this area. And it's quite funny now that we look down at where the quarry used to be, that we've got a whole bunch of digging again. But this time they're not digging for sandstone. They're digging out the tunnel for the metro line, which will come through, and that's going to be the stop for Barangaroo right there. So I assume these workers' cottages, they probably housed the quarrymen back in the day, or they may have even housed wharfies, people working down on the wharfs. So I'm not too sure. The history books didn't tell me that. But later, these actually became government housing. Now I don't know whether they still are or not, but for a long time the Department of Housing owned these premises, and they stretch all the way from Argyle Place up there down High Street, and they go all the way down the road, I think, but the main stretch is this bit here. So I'm just going to quickly switch the camera off and I'll join you up the top. We're going to walk down this staircase that I've always wanted to film. Look at that. You wouldn't read about it. The day that I want to come and walk down the stairs and film them for you, they're closed. There's a staircase there. What I wanted to do was walk down and then walk up to the foyer of the Crown Casino. But it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do it. What a bummer. It's going to be closed right up until the 11th of September. So best plans. What's the saying? Best plans of mice and men? Anyway, there's the Crown Casino in the Barangaroo Tower. That's where we were going to walk. But let's focus on this little green here while we're here. Apparently this is a park, which they call the High Street Gardens. Could do with a mow, and there's not really anywhere to sit unless you sit on this concrete wall here. Here's some more of these workers' cottages here. But they've got this lovely frangipani tree in the park. That's something, I suppose. Let's stand on top of these sandstone blocks and take a view out into the water. Across the way there is, I'll see if I can point to it. That wharf you see over there, that'll get off there, it'll take you up into Balmain. So not very far. You could probably swim it for fun if there wasn't so many ferries and boats coming through there. I don't know whether you can see, but there's a jet streaking across the sky up there. You might have to look at that on the big screen. Oh well, let's get past these workers' cottages and find another way to continue with the film. Seeing I couldn't take you down those other stairs, just standing up the top of Observatory Hill, I'll take you down this set of stairs instead, which takes us down into Miller's Point where we just were. But if you do come up to Observatory Hill, come down this end, head towards the Barangaroo Tower, down this roadway, come down this staircase, and the reward at the end for you will be a delicious sandwich at a famous sandwich shop down the bottom of the stairs here. I'll show you when we get down there. You might actually see a few people chowing down on these massive doorstep sandwiches. They're huge. So again, even this staircase here is made of Sydney sandstone, and it's quite weathered now because it's been around for a while. Oh, look at that old doorway there in between the two terrace houses. That's pretty cool. Here it is. Here's South Dowling sandwiches. Look at the people getting stuck into them. Look at this guy, massive sandwich he's ploughing down. I just saw on the menu they've got a sandwich in there called the Brad Pitt, and it's got about 10,000 ingredients on it. So you'd need quite a vice-like grip to hang on to that sucker while you're trying to eat it. Now let me check what time it is. Oh look, a dead rat there squashed on the pavement. Charming, but quite poetic, given that we're talking about the bubonic plague before. While we're on that subject again, so they got rid of it in Australia. We don't have the bubonic plague anymore, but there are many countries around the world, as you know, that still do. The US is one of them. A lot of the western states of the US still have it. I remember when I was there, I've been there a few times. I remember one of the times that I went there, I think when I was a bit younger. I think I was in Nevada, and I think there was a whole bunch of donkeys, or what do they call them, asses, in the field, and there was signs up warning about ticks or fleas on the animals to stay away from them because there was a bubonic plague in the area. So yeah, still plenty of it around. Alright, here we are on the corner of Pitt Street and Park Street, outside the Criterion Hotel. And I'm finally going to take you to that little food court that I've been banging on about in a number of videos. It's lunchtime and I'm hungry. So I never knew before it was called the Basement Food Court, but there you go. So let's get in there and I'll show you my favourite joint, which I have pointed out before, but I've never picked up any food. So we're going to find out today if it still tastes the same after almost a decade. It's Malaysian food apparently, so let's get down there. Here we go, Malacca Straits. I'm going to get one of these combos here. I'm going to get this 3-dish combo like I used to in the old days. Chicken. Alright, I've secured the lunch. Here it is here. It's hard to carry it and talk at the same time. But basically got a 3-dish combo of curry beef, crispy chicken and veggies. Which is what I used to get in the old days. So I'm just going to head over to Hyde Park and then we'll unwrap it there and get stuck into it, and I'll tell you whether it's still the same. And just so you know, I think it only costs $11.50 because I got a can of drink with it, so all up it was 14 bucks. So 14 bucks for lunch. That's pretty good. And if it still tastes the same, it's definitely a place that you could check out when you came to Sydney for some cheap eats. Oh, here we go for the unveiling of the Malacca. There we go. You can see the crispy chicken there, the veggies in the middle, and the beef curry on the side there. I'll just get my serviette out of the way. Just clip this microphone on. Now, if you notice something different today, it might be my microphone, because I'm actually using this one today, which is a lapel mic by Rode. The other one's carked it again, and I have to send it back to Rode. The Rode Wireless Go 2, it's the second time it's carked it within a year. I'm going to have to send it back to them. The receiver was like cooking last night when I was trying to charge it. Just got really hot and then wouldn't start, so something short-circuited in there, so I'm going to have to send it back to them. So yeah, let's try this out. Might try the beef first. Wow, look at that, it's like a whole steak. Wish it was cut a bit smaller. I'm going to have to go for a different bit. Here we go. This is a good bit. Does it taste the same? Yeah. Bit milder than I remember, I think. Let's try this bit, and I'll try to get a photo of this in the gob. So here we are in Hyde Park. Here we go. Into the gob. Delicious. Definitely not the same as I remember though. Let's try some of the vegetable. Some of this broccoli. Oh yeah, the broccoli's nice. And about some crispy chicken. Yeah, delicious. So if you want to know exactly where I'm standing, let's pull this microphone off again. So I've pulled the I've used this old power box to stick the lunch on top of. I'm on the north side, no, not the north side, the south side of Hyde Park. And as you remember from my other videos, Park Street here intersects the two ends of Hyde Park, the north end and the south. A couple of people waiting for buses down there at the stand. So yeah, let me finish this lunch and then we'll get walking again. Update, I'm only halfway through it. I'm already full as a goog. It's a big meal. What have I got left? I've got no beef left, I smashed that. Got a little bit of crispy chicken left and a few veggies. And look at the punters in the park around me, reading books, reading phones. Actually, I should rephrase that, reading phones. It's not anyone reading books. Under the shade of this lovely big tree here. Don't know what species of tree it is. There's a couple of paper barks around. Can't see any gum trees. Don't know what species of this tree is either. So yeah, lovely day. Alright, I've devoured that. So I finished the food. It was a struggle, let me tell you. I can't finish all the soft drink. I'm going to have to throw that. I might tip it out before I throw it in the bin. And there's this ibis has just come to join me. The old bin chicken. So I just dump this rubbish and then we'll have a bit of a walk and then we'll move over to the next location. So I've been lunch. Let's have a little bit of a walk through the park before we skate over to the next location. But while I was eating lunch, out of the corner of my eye I saw this frisbee stuck up in the tree. Can you see it there, the pink one? Some poor kid or bunch of office workers have whacked that up in the tree when they're playing at lunchtime. Let's walk over to the big shells or the big bullets in Hyde Park before we switch off and sprint over to the next joint. I must say I'm quite pleased with this lapel mic. It's going quite well. I was worried, given that it'd be sucking juice off the camera, that the battery would run down quickly, but it hasn't, which is pleasantly surprising. So let's see if we can get past these people taking their dog for a crap and get over to the bullets. There's an obelisk that's at the end of Bathurst Street, just here, erected in 1857. So let's end on the big bullets or the big shells, whatever they are. I wouldn't like to be around when they landed, that's for sure. There they are. Big suckers. Obviously just mock-ups, much larger than real life, but still entertaining nonetheless. Let's sneak through here and then we'll call it quits. Alright, down onto Elizabeth Street. See you soon. I haven't filmed this stretch before, so I thought I'd whack on the camera. Just walking on the edge of Chinatown in George Street. So just this little bit in between Chinatown and Broadway I thought I'd film because I haven't done it before. There's part of Chinatown in there, Market City. This stretch here used to be full of hock shops. Oh, here's one here. So there's one still here. There used to be a bunch of hock shops along here. There's a couple still. There's a whole bunch of adult stores as well. Surprising that they're still open. Probably see a bunch of uni students as we walk along here. So not far from the University of Technology up the road. There's our old backpackers there on the corner. That place down the bottom, Happy Travels, that used to be a big internet cafe. It escapes my mind what it used to be called. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't get it. But yeah, there used to be a big internet cafe down there. Do you remember back in the day when internet cafes were all the rage for travellers? Before our smartphones could do all of that. I should give myself a uppercut. All these years and I've never paid attention to this church here. Christ Church of St. Lawrence. It's an Anglican church. There's those sandstone blocks again. So on George Street, just before we get to Central Station and Broadway. It's a nice looking church anyway. So we're not too far from the next destination. So seeing that I filmed this intersection up here before, switch off the camera here and switch back on when we get to this particular location. I've been trying to go there for years. Today I finally got the time to do it, and I'm around the right time as well. Around the lunch time, should be able to pick up some action. We've arrived. We've arrived at the next destination, which is Spice Alley. Been meaning to come here for a while. It's a whole bunch of eateries along Spice Alley, not far from Central Station and Broadway. You can see up on the street sign up there, that's Dwyer Street, but I think this one's Kensington Street, where the majority of the restaurants and cafes are. Some place there called Cartel. Might stay on the shady side, make sure I capture it. Yeah, this is Kensington Street. What's this joint? East Side Grill and Bar. There's a Holy Duck over there. So Vietnamese joint, there's that place that's packed. There's a sign for Spice Alley. Oh, these are actually on the outside of Spice Alley. I just saw a little laneway down there that we need to explore. But let's just keep going down this side first. Yeah, look, there's all signs leading in there. So that must be the official Spice Alley in there. This section looks like where you come for your dessert. A whole bunch of ice cream shops and stuff. So if you hadn't guessed, I've never been here myself. So this is the first time. Oh, look at all those flowers hanging down off that. Imagine eating in there. Be quite entertaining. Oh, it looks like we've come to the end, so let's enter Spice Alley from here. Where this big Gucci sign is of, what's his name? Ryan Gosling on the wall. Here we go, into Spice Alley we go. Feel like I'm in Japan or something. Yep, there is Japanese in here. It's a combination of different Asian cuisines, obviously. Yeah, this is awesome. I've got to come back and eat here. Yeah, this place is a delight. Some curries up here and some roti. Yeah, this is a lovely spot. Hey, if you're coming to Sydney, get your carcass down to Spice Alley. Looks awesome. Let's trip over the chair. A lot of people are chucking their padlocks on this. The lovebirds. There's a Skywriter up there. Can you see them? I wonder what they're riding. Let's wait and have a look. Let's get into the clear. And I'll lean against this wall. I'm guessing it's going to turn around and complete an E. Maybe it's an E for the Me Bank. Or it might be making an A and someone's going to get married. We'll just wait to see if it draws an R. If it draws an R, then we'll leave the rest up to your imagination. And I hope it doesn't fade away before he gets to finish the word. Yeah, there's the R, so it's definitely going to be a marry me sign. So I'll keep walking down Spice Alley, and I'll keep an eye on the sky, and I'll let you know what it says, whose name shows up. Yes, I must say, Spice Alley, I'm pleasantly surprised. I didn't think it was going to be that good. but it's quite extensive. There's a lot of different eateries in there inside the lane itself, and then also here in Kensington Street. So we'll get back down onto Broadway, and then I'll switch off and skate over to the next location. Alright, update on the Skywriter. It did say marry me, but there was no name, there was only initials. It said marry me TT. Whoever that is. So we're up on the goods line. I've been here before, just briefly, but I've never walked the whole length of it. So I thought, let's walk along it and see where it takes us. It's an unusual shaped building up here. It's put together like one of those kids' puzzles. Dr. Chau Chak building, UTS Business School. I remember reading something about this. Almost tripped over this bloody plastic thing here. Killed myself. But yeah, have a look at that. I remember reading something about this building, the way it's stacked together. It was a real architectural feat. So we get a better angle of it. So I have spoken about this place before, the goods line. So there used to be train tracks that ran through here and delivered goods from Central Station out to all the factories and warehouses out this way. Oh look, there's an outdoor table tennis table there. That'd be a delight in the summer, wouldn't it? Not. Fry your nuts off. Yeah, that's a crazy shaped building, that one. Oh, there's another table tennis table over there. Outdoor exercise. Well, that squawking you can hear up in the trees is lorikeets. Again, as always, they're too high up to actually film, because they are a really pretty bird. It's a shame I can't get them on camera. Look at this old chimney here, or drain, or I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, it does, it tells us it's Mary Ann Street, Culvert. So it's some sort of drain, that's what that means, isn't it? Let's have a look. Sandstone culvert. Yeah, carried drainage from the eastern side of the railway. 1853 the goods line was constructed. There you go. Thought that guy had an electric skateboard, but it's not. So this is going to take us down the back of the Powerhouse Museum and back at Chinatown by the looks of things. Few delivery riders around. Yeah, I don't want to go to the Powerhouse Museum, so I might exit here down these stairs. Let's film all the new buildings that they've built over the top of Chinatown. Now exiting the goods line. Test. So I rejoined you on the bridge at the end of Liverpool Street. That's the walls of the Chinese garden there. It's a bridge on both sides of the road. Crossing over the approaches of the Harbour Bridge here and the Cross City Tunnel. Just don't think I filmed this little bridge before, so I thought, stuff it, I'll get the camera out and film it. This is the end of Liverpool Street just here. Or maybe you can count the entrance to Darling Harbour there as being Liverpool Street as well. There's a few Asian eateries on this side as well, over here. Starting to get a bit tired. Don't know where to film next.
It's like a hard.
This is Sussex Street just here. I've missed the lights by the look of it, so might have to mill around a bit. Oh, let's get up that Douglas Lane over there. That's something different. I remember that laneway. Pretty sure that was one of the exits, one of the emergency exits for the Hyde Cinema. Let's see what's up there now. Probably nothing. It's probably been blocked off. Oh no, it's still there. It's a nice little set of stairs here for HW to get up. I was worried that I'd have to run up that sandstone ramp there. Jeez, this is an old building, this one. Few rat traps along here. It's Eager Street, somewhere to get your shoes repaired by the looks of it. What's down here? I swore that there used to be a emergency exit for the cinemas along here somewhere. Haven't found it yet. A couple of mattresses and a wardrobe if you want it, and some chairs. No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like they've blocked it off, or if I'm in the wrong laneway. Yeah, that building looks empty, doesn't it? Someone's had fun smashing bottles on this grade here. That woman's come down the laneway to have a cheeky dart, and I've caught her. Back out onto Liverpool Street. Let's whack off the camera here and I'll think about where we can go next. I just stumbled across this joint here in Central Street, or Central Street and Pitt Street. That's Pitt Street just there. Found this little nectar joint called Rebels and Misfits. Thought that was appropriate for me. I'm a bit of a rebel and a misfit, so I've ordered a flat white. They only do it in takeaway cups, so I'll sit out here in a minute. But let's see what else they've got. So there's some delicious cakes in the window here, some donuts and some muffins. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. There's my delicious flat white, and they've got some sandwiches down there. Here's their menu. Do a fair bit of food. Looks like a bit of a breakfast joint. Heaps of different breakfasts on offer for $11.90. So corner of Central Street and Pitt Street, guys. This might be a cheeky quick breakfast for you if you're walking between your hotel and traversing the city in Pitt Street, maybe heading down to Central Station or heading from Central Station up to the city. So let's get into this nectar and try it out. Oh, delicious. They do Pablo and Rusty's beans here as well. Where shall I sit, there or there? Which one's better? This one? A bit quieter. Oh yeah, nice. I got the logo on the side of the building here. He's told me to sit here. He reckons this is the best place to sit. Got my own little golf green here to sit on top of. So yeah, this place is a delight. Oh, Rebels and Misfits. So put this one down on your coffee diary. You'll have to try this if you're walking around the city when you come to Sydney. Let's just leave the camera on for a while I destroy this flat white. That building across the way there, past that beer truck. I worked in that building for a little while. I think for about 6 months before I transferred down to King Street and George. It's pretty old inside. Bunch of actually, you know what? Is that the right building? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think that's the right building. Just noticed this game shop over here. They've got a Dungeons and Dragons poster in the window. Do people still play that? So a few people traversing this lane, that's for sure. Well, would you call it a lane? It's called Central Street, right? But yeah, if you go down there, it's not far before you hit George Street and the cinema complexes. So that's why they're all skirting down here. Probably been for lunch in World Square and just taking a shortcut back to work. So let me finish this nectar and then I'll come back to you soon. I picked this spot to end the vid. Looking down Goulburn Street towards George Street. You can see Scruffy Murphy's just there, the Irish pub. I'll thank you for taking the skirt around Sydney with HW today. Hope you saw a few new things. Hope you enjoyed the nectar stops, the lunch. Jot all them down for your next visit. Like, comment, subscribe. And make sure you hit the settings wheel on your phone or your iPad if that's what you watch my videos on, and change to at least 1080p to get the best results out of the pictures. See you in the next vid. The video is over.